the first question, okay, you can see on this screen, the first question. So basically, I think you guys, the first thing you will learn is some technical skill. For example, like what kind of accounting knowledge, what kind of work attitude, etc., would be expected of young professionals, accounting graduate, accounting students. So can you share with our students in the first few years, or even in your internship, what were the most important technical skills?
Okay, so I actually did an internship in Deloitte back in 2019, and I was doing an advisory department doing merger and acquisition transactional service. So at that time, actually Big Four has composed of different sectors. It has audit and assurance, financial advisories, which is for restructuring, forensic, M&As, due diligence, and consulting, as well as risk advisory. Risk advisory is more like for technology basis. It's like IT audit, or they will be gathering more about to do some analysis about the accounting system of the audit clients. So actually, I started my internship in there. So I actually got an offer from audit in Deloitte, and I started my career there. So throughout my 3 years in 2 different Big Fours, I think there's some technical knowledge which is very crucial. The first one is probably you have to grasp the basic knowledge, especially talking in the point of view from audit. You have to grasp the basic knowledge of the accounting standards. For example, for core audit, you have to know about IFRS 15, which is revenue recognitions, leases for IFRS 16, and for financial service, the main accounting standards that we will be using is probably IFRS 9 and 13, which is for financial instruments and fair value. I think you guys will learn more about it later because it's actually the fundamental knowledge for that. And afterwards, when you graduate from PAC, and then you will actually take the QP examination, which is very important for being a qualified CPA. So I think that the financial accounting knowledge is very important. It's like a fundamental stone for all the Big Four audit students. But for like financial advisory, you have to be more open to like communication skills. So I think that in general, communication skills is very important, especially you have to do project management skills to manage expectations. Without the communication skills, actually you cannot deliver your message well enough. So when you manage your internal stakeholders, such as your managers, such as your colleagues, your batchmates, or like your teammates, or even your other internal specialists, such as valuation team, it will be a big obstacles if you cannot deliver your message well. So I think this is a very important skill set. And then the second skill set I think is very important is probably your basic Excel skills. Talking about knowing VBAs, Pythons, or like formulas such as XLOOKUP is very important.
Okay, so just to summarize a little bit. So the first thing is you are studying accounting and you have to be really on top of all the laws, right? Regulations, and you will be Stephanie has been working with 2 Big Four, and many of her clients are actually multinational clients, and they are actually listed in different places, and therefore they need to comply not only to local laws. Some of them they are actually complying to multiple locations, right? And therefore you will have to be on top of. Okay, although I must say that in fact the general principle of accounting would be more or less the same, but there would be some small but important differences, and therefore you will have to understand, okay, how to understand the regulations and the requirements, reporting requirements, audit requirements, etc. And then on top of that, no matter how knowledgeable you are, you will have to be a very good communicator, because it's a teamwork, right? Basically, you won't be doing things on your own, and you will have to discuss with your teammate, your supervisor, and most importantly, your clients. Okay? And then the third thing would be software. Okay? So still a lot of calculation is being done by like maybe Excel, and then if you are able to manage some formula or use some basic programming or even like Python, etc., it will facilitate you to do your job faster, better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Okay, next, we actually spent some time this morning talking about professional etiquette. I think by far accountants are being regarded as one of the most professional occupations, especially in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is obviously a financial center, right? And then you can't live without accountants, and therefore accountants are being highly regarded. And what kind of professional etiquette do you find most crucial?
So talking about professionalism is actually talking about your integrity, your ethics, as well as some objectivities. So I think that among all of them, is most important is probably integrity, because not about talking about your competency, which is your ability of working. I think that being more integrated is more important in terms of, because having your integrity, it means that you stay to be like independent. You are not subject to others' influences, and you are objective about different financial statements. So you will be more integrated, as well as you stay ethical too. Because being a CPA, I think most of you would like to be a CPA, or regardless CPA or CFA, is the most important is the code of ethics. So actually being ethical, having the integrity is the most key card towards being professional, as well as staying and more in the professionalism way.
Yeah. So basically, it's like the standard, a moral standard, the ethical standard, your integrity. Because as I said, I think previously we discussed the technical skill because of being regarded as a high professional in the business world. And you know what CPA are doing? So basically, they are actually checking and endorsing clients' books and reports, right? Financial report. That would be used for what? Why there is legislation requiring businesses to report their income, profit and loss, everything. Do you know why? Know why are you studying accounting then? You need to know why, right? Okay. So first, when a company is making profit, they need to pay what? They need to pay tax, right? And then for example, if they would like to go for IPO, okay, they want to be listed, they want to be publicly listed, they want investors to put in their money, and then if the numbers are all made up, okay, then they are actually fixing the number, their balance sheets and everything, for the investor to put in their money. Is that okay? So the trust level in accountants very high, and therefore integrity, etc. You need to stay objective, professional, and have high integrity in order to be seen as a professional accountant. And especially you are dealing with a lot of people, stakeholders, including your peers, your coworkers, and then also your managers, the partners in your company, and the clients, all levels of the clients, from working level to the managerial level to the director and CEO, CFO, right? So how are you upkeeping your professionalism or professional image in front of them?
So I have deal with multinationals companies as well as business companies. So actually different stakeholders have different point of view towards the financial statements. Actually, what auditors are doing are ensuring that the financial statements are free from material misstatements, which is known as error in general terms. So I think that I have to comply with the codes of ethics, as well as having the integrity, is that I have to do with that. I have to understand that I have to stay objective. I think staying objective sometimes means that you solely distinct yourself from every other's noises from different stakeholders, but that you have to understand that the standards have stated out how the revenue is recognized, how should the valuation be measured. You can consult valuation teams if there is like issues or like you are disregarding the client's valuation methodologies. But that I think that you can always speak to more. You can always escalate and speak to more senior level people, such as from my grade, I'm currently a senior, so I will talk to my manager or my senior managers. So they will escalate to partners if there's some very serious issues. But that I always believe that talking to more higher level people, they will have more insights. But you at the same time can stay objective, and then you can be more professional.
Well, that's a wonderful perspective because when I was younger, that was a long time ago, okay, like 20 over years ago. When I was young, I graduated from the university, and then I actually have been in a situation where I wanted to ask questions, but I got an impression that if I ask too many questions, I may be regarded as stupid or not good enough. What do you think?
So this is one of the key points that I want to bring up to you guys, that you always have to understand the rationale and why you have to pick up a task. When you take up a task, you have to have an overview of like the whole task, what is going on, why I have to do it, and why is the reason of doing the task. So after you have brainstormed all the ideas or even do some online research yourself, there's so many AI tools for you to use, ChatGPT, POE, for example. After checking all of these, you understand why you do it. So you ask a question based on because your lack of experience. So you can always ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Also, of course, there's not a lot of really nice person doing Big Four as it's very competitive. I would say that you have to ask questions in a more smart way. You have to understand that the question will actually make an impact instead of asking a question without thinking.
So basically, you can ask questions, but you need to do your homework.
Yeah.
Right? You need to understand, try your best to understand.
Yeah.
And maybe narrow down your question from a big question to a very specific,
Yeah.
smaller question. Right?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so I think I can say that you're highly successful because within 3 years, you actually work in Big Four company for 3 times, right?
Yeah, 3 times.
3 times because it's an intern, and then you got a return offer,
Yeah.
and then you already got kind of being hunted to another Big Four already, and obviously your technical capability definitely would be one of the reasons. But I would like to look at it from the other perspective, the other angle is it something to do with your networking skills or soft skills?
Yeah, actually when I switched to another Big Four, which is EY, I changed my career path, which is from core audit, which is more focused in the listed companies, to more financial service related, which is FS audit. So I think FS audit is very different from core audit because I have to hands-on to more investments, especially in the fund sectors. So at that time, how do I land on this job? It's actually I network with one of my previous senior in Deloitte, and she has switched it to UI. And at that time, she told me that there is an opening, and asked, am I willing to try? So I think staying connection with all the people that you met during your internships, as well as your first permanent job, is very important. Not only knowing that staying in connection means you know that person, but that person has to know what you are capable of. How is your character actually? Are you outgoing, or you are more like I'm more introverted person, or you are like you are more focused on the technical skills wise, or you are like a more outgoing person, so you are looking for advisory jobs like this.
Yeah, so basically whenever you got a chance to be exposed to employers, be it you are working as an intern or maybe in a job fair, etc., you need to present the best self in order to leave a good impression and then got remembered, right? And they are all freshmen. In fact, this is kind of the first real lecture or workshop they're having in the university. So, meaning that they're not having a job yet, or not any soon next year. So, what would you advise them to do? Really starting next Monday, and in the first year, there may be some activities or some preparation that they should be doing. Any advice?
So back when I was I was a freshman, I was actually studying arts instead of like being like you guys studying accounting. So my path is more like twisted. So at that time, I really wish that somebody can tell me that I can step out of my comfort zone and like really network with people. Not saying that you have to network with people every single day, but that when you meet your course mate, you guys can exchange information between you guys. As being a freshman, I think the first summer is more likely to be difficult to find an internship in my perspective. But for my own point of view, I think that when you network with people, you can know more about what is their job actually doing. Like many people think that auditors are actually like staying up late for like very valid reasons. But actually, it's the tight deadlines and the resources that has caused us to work that late. So I think that you have to know that what skill set you have to be more prepared. For example, for advisory, you have to work on your presentation skills. For consulting, you have to know how to make a pitch, making a deck for like your presentations. So you have to work on this part. So I think that the fundamental skills is probably knowing ratio analysis. You have to understand and train up your analytical skill set, which is very important. So when you network with people, I think that you guys can start network with people which are like associate 2 or like senior 1, 2 in Big Fours if you guys are looking for an internship. As long as you are looking for knowing what is the day doing and what is actually skill sets is crucial for the work. I think it's a very important thing for you guys as a freshman.
Yeah, well, writing on that, I actually received one question from one of you, okay? Related to what you just said. If you are targeting some graduates who are actually working in Big Four as an associate or as an senior, etc., would you, as a senior or as an associate working in Big Four, if you receive a text or LinkedIn invitation from some of them, would you accept the invitation and would you respond to the question?
So thank you for the question, and I think that as being promoting to senior 2 this year, I think that my life is more packed and I have to do being in charge of some engagements. So actually our time is limited. So I think that actually for me, as I've spent time coming here to like tell you guys my story, I think it actually is like varies on people. Some of my friends actually, being an associate who has received questions asking about, I have graduated from a university for a certain time. Can I still join Big Four as an associate 1 or like the graduate program? We have actually received some questions like this. Actually, don't hesitate to reach out. Actually, most of the people will respond to these. And you never know what the first step you have taken, what will it do to. This is what I always has been telling myself. So actually, from a point of view, it really varies from people, but among all my friend group or like my batchmates, we usually respond to people actually. But you have to ask the question in a more precise way, giving us more backgrounds as well as knowing what you are. And you have to be more precise on what you are saying, and you have to understand why you have to ask the questions instead of like throwing a question that can be searched online or in the career development webpage of the Big Fours.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a good question. So if you reach out to someone you don't know on LinkedIn, and chances are they may be too busy to get back to you, or they may have a time, just happen to have time to respond to you. And okay, no harm for you to ask, right? No harm for you to reach out. And I don't think Stephanie and anyone would feel, why this person reached out to me and form a negative feeling. There would not be any negative feeling, even if they are so busy, they just don't have time to respond to you. But why not? Okay, why don't you take the chance to reach out? And if like you come across someone like Stephanie, so helpful, so kind, to get back to you, and if to be honest, if Stephanie thought of or heard of any opportunity, she may really refer you or tell you, okay, I heard that some department is doing hiring of an intern. Then you will get some insider information way faster than you pay attention to the website, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, so I think another very important thing is internship and working experience, right? So can you share with us how important your working experiences and internship experiences during your university life help you in your career so far?
So I think that internship is very, very crucial in stepping into the first full-time job. Without internship, actually, the recruiter do not know actually what you are capable of. Even you have a straightforward GPA, 4.3 or 4 in Hong Kong, I'm not very familiar with the system. Even you have a really high GPA, doesn't mean that you are like more work smart person. I would say this. You can be book smart but not work smart. So I think the internship has actually helped you to eliminate and knowing yourself more. You know what jobs you like. Perhaps you started in Big Four, you do not like the competitive environment, you do not like the fast-paced environment, you do not like the environment that you have to grab everything yourself and then you have to learn from searching the answer yourself. But then I think that you can start off another internship in banking. As long as you have maintained a certain GPA, I think it's 3.3 for main employers in Hong Kong. They're looking for a 3 to 3.3 GPA for an entrance to an internship. Some investment bankings will be more competitive, 3.5 above. So I think that as long as you maintain a good, a decent academic standing, I think that looking for internship is very important. You know what you like and what you hate. So when you step into your first full-time job, you won't trip and fall and start over again. Because there's an MT programs that are specialized for graduates like you guys after 4 years. So look for these opportunities. Graduate programs are actually fast-track manager programs, which are very important for you guys. I think that there are good opportunities and you guys should grasp the opportunity for this. And without internships, it will be more difficult for you to land on the first full-time job.
Thank you, Stephanie. I think it's a very good advice, a personal advice from Stephanie. In fact, okay, we from the employer side, I can tell you that, in fact, nowadays you're no longer just competing on your GPA at which university, and employers are really looking at real work experience, internship experience. For I think Stephanie mentioned, actually it's 3 main reasons. The first reason is if you really worked before you graduate, then you already have some skills that can be used immediately. You will hit the ground running in the first job, and employers value that. Second, if you are doing a very good internship and you perform really well, chances are you may even have a return offer, right? So if you just imagine if in year 3 summer, you spend 3 months with your dream company, you perform well, they said, oh, we really like you, okay, we'll wait for you next year to join us. Then you actually save 1 year of worry, right? Because you are already having 1 offer waiting for you in your final year, and then you really can enjoy life in your final year, okay? And then third, and also I think is quite important. I think this one is the transitioning. So you were in your high school, right? And the characteristic being in high school is you basically will be with the same group of people almost all the time. I mean your friends, right, in the same class. But now you already know that although you guys are, I said you guys have fellowship, but you will be meeting different people, doing different things, managing your time, like Stephanie mentioned. You will have to manage both your academic and also your work and many other things, and she can tell you more. Okay, there will be a lot of things because you become adults now, right? And that transition when you graduate and become a full-time professional will be another big difference that you need to manage. And therefore, if you already have some working experience, you will transition, I think, way more smoothly. You get yourself prepared, and then you can perform well, and then you can have a very good career like Stephanie. You know, as I said, she got hunted by her previous manager, right? So the previous manager moved and remember how good Stephanie was, and asked Stephanie to join the company, the new company, and then you have the opportunity to grow faster, right? Okay, so I got another question here from international student. Any thoughts about international students from outside of Hong Kong, their career prospect in the accounting world in Hong Kong? What do you think?
So actually I come across numbers of international students in Big Fours, and no matter it's my previous employer or my current employer, actually they hire a lot of international students. Not only like 50% of them are locals, which is from Hong Kong, speak Cantonese and English, and actually like 30 to 40% of them are like from China and they speak Mandarin. And the remaining percentage are usually speaking English, they're from overseas. So I am treated as a local, so even I graduated from overseas because I speak Cantonese. So I think that actually is not a really big obstacle for you to, as being international students, to step into Big Fours, or even some other companies, MNCs. They actually welcome you guys, and some of them are like more welcoming for my current employer, because we have some Mandarin speaking jobs that require more Mandarin speakers. So I actually was engaged in one of the China asset management firms. So I actually had to speak Mandarin too. So I think that being international means you have it's not that you're better than like other locals, but you have to speak one more language. Of course, you have to try to learn to speak Cantonese, and I think that there's lots of free resources online, YouTube, as well as Diangles. Those apps can help you learn one more language. I think that it won't be an obstacle for you guys.
Okay, so basically, already a lot of international students or any student, non-local students are getting Big Four opportunities in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
We are not talking about a minority, we are talking about quite a significant number of students or graduates from different places. I mean, originated from different places. And the question is actually from an Indonesian student. And I can say that for like a macro or government trend is, you know, Hong Kong is trying very hard to develop the business relationships and collaborations with ASEAN countries, including Indonesia. Meaning that I can see that there will be more demand for talents from ASEAN countries. Okay, thank you. Okay, so another question: how did you get your internship?
Oh, so actually my first internship, because I started also in Bachelor of Arts, actually I do it through a network. Because I was in Canada, I was actually unable to like face-to-face connect with people. So actually I really sent a cold message in LinkedIn to one of the senior, which was the senior and passed my M&ATS advisory service. That team, I talked to her through a Zoom call during that time. And then that summer, she has helped me to submit the application form to the hiring manager. And because I have a pretty decent GPA at that time, and then I landed the internship through 2 rounds of interviews at that time for an internship. So one of them is like with the hiring managers, and then later on you will have to meet the directors, and you have to do some case studies for that. So it's more like the one I did for my graduate program hiring. Because even after the recent offer, I actually have transited to audit. which I did another interview for that. But I have a shortened track for it. I do not have to do like the whole big group of case study presentation, but that I just meet on to the managers one-on-one. Yeah.
Wow. So you did not know the person on LinkedIn before?
Not really. I don't really know the person on LinkedIn. I just cold message quite a number of people at that time because I really want to land my first job in financial advisory, which especially I'm in overseas. I do not have an accounting background. I only have an analytical skills, and how to showcase this is how to package yourself and promote yourself. Actually, it's a very important skill set.
Okay, so listen, students. Okay. She was not studying professional accountancy. Okay, she was not in Hong Kong. Okay, and she reached out to someone or to many accountants in Hong Kong virtually through LinkedIn, cold call. Basically, she didn't know them, and some of them responded, and one of them brought her the referral opportunity after one Zoom call. Okay, all online. Okay, never saw each other in person, and she got referred. She passed the interviews and got a Deloitte internship. That brought her finally a graduate job at Deloitte. Okay, so why not networking? Why not reach out? Okay, you understand? Okay, this is a new story to me. Okay, you know when I knew Stephanie for how long? Guess. Okay, I have known her for 24 hours now. Right?
Yeah.
Seriously, I have known her 24 hours. Okay, through a connection that I made online again. So it's like the power of networking. Okay, I'm not kidding. Okay, this is really, and that's why I said Sherry didn't know I have a guest, because I didn't know as well. 24 hours ago, I didn't know. Our first conversation was 24 hours ago,
Yeah.
and I invited her. Originally, I said, can we have a Zoom call with you online? And then later on, I said, by the way, if you can come, it will be wonderful. And that's why she's here. Okay, so give a big So, any other question? Anyone, raise your hand. Golden opportunity for you to ask just any question in your mind. Or text me. Check. Okay, there's one. Okay, so can you tell the student, okay, in your internship, what did you really do?
Okay, so this is a challenging question. So during my internship, not much of stuff has been allocated to me because I was quite junior at that time, and so what actually I've conducted like pitching some deck books. I've prepared like decks, which is PowerPoints for the partners or the directors to present. I have to do the groundwork of it, analyzing ratios, doing analytical reviews, as well as explaining some fluctuations of the company profile. At that time, I have to consolidate some data together. So actually, it's preparing data books. So in summary, it's like preparing data books, doing groundwork of some valuation modeling, which for the valuation model, I just input for for the data instead of doing the valuation modeling in some in investment banking. So M&A transaction service is different from like M&A because like transaction service is more focused on the groundworks. They actually have to collaborate with different cross-specialist team, and then you have to understand what your target company is doing, and you have to do some due diligence skills for for understanding the target company as well as the industry. So mainly my focus is like due diligence, preparing data books, and like preparing the decks for the directors. Yeah.
So it's more a supportive role.
Yeah, it's more a supportive role. During your internship, you won't be working on very technical stuff as your seniors as well as your managers actually won't have a lot of time to take care of you, especially there's busy season all around in Big Falls. So I would say you have to understand your task and you have to know why you have to do it to grasp the most from your internship.
Okay, so don't feel that immediately after joining an internship or even a grad job, you will immediately be doing big project. You probably will begin with a supportive role.
Yeah.
Okay, but you will learn a lot by supporting seniors, managers, etc. Yeah, flowing in a lot of questions. They already know that it's very difficult to maintain a good work-life balance. They are asking how you manage to maintain work-life balance at a Big Four.
Oh, so I can share a bit about it, especially during a really tough peak season. So last year during my, because I said earlier I'm working currently in WAM sector. So I was doing one of the largest engagement among the four. And actually my working hours is during the most peak season is like 9 a.m. in the morning till 5 a.m. in the morning. So actually I have 2 hours of sleep and 2 hours of commute every day because I live far away. So actually I have this time to share about is that during the time it's really tough. You are working like 20 hours per day, but the deadline will end. Actually, you have to uphold a really nice mentality that you know that deadline are approaching, you complete your task and you off work early. It's not 人哋講話係揼破鐘, which is like slagging on to the time and work till very late without being productive. You have to stay productive every day. So maintaining work-life balance is that I will actually go running or gym with my engagement team members during dinner time, and then we will have dinner together. At that time, I thought I was like collapsing. So actually, how do we do it? It's like through teamwork. Sometimes we sleep during lunch and we have a quick lunch afterwards. So actually, work doesn't mean fully a part of your full life. But then I think that you have to understand that during peak season you can be very packed, but during slack season you can be very chill. It's like you can work from home. It's like so chill that you can come back to office around 9 something and then you over at 6. So it's like a trade-off. You are busy for like 4 months in FS audit and then you have a slack season for like 9 months a year. So I think it is a trade-off. Yeah.
Wow, brilliant. So I heard of 996 996. You know what is 996? It's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. for 6 days, but it's actually worse, right?
Yeah,
it's 9 to 5, but it's a 5 a.m.
Yeah.
9 to 5 or 5 a.m. However, Stephanie mentioned that yes, you will have very busy season because accounting is obviously a very seasonal business, right? And therefore, there will be some slack seasons that you can manage your like health, your other stuff, etc. And professional firms will allow you to do so. It's unlike commercial firm. You basically it's a 9 to 6, and then you say 2 hours more. It's 9 to 7 for every day throughout the year. But accounting, yes, tough time for a few months. Then you will have to be resilient enough. And then slack time, you will have to maintain a real good balance, such that it becomes more sustainable, right? Thank you. Another question is, they're going to be here for 4 years. I told them that they will be having a career of 40 years. And for the next 4 years, what should they do to acquire the necessary skills?
So the first key card to get a decent internship is really your GPA. Don't really, because I know that you graduated from high school and then you start a new life. Being freshman, there's loads of new stuff for you to learn, you to play. Actually, especially I have friends studying in CUHK too, and then they told me that they can play with their college friends. There is a lot of orientation, so job, those. You have a lot of these stuff to play. I think it's more about how you prioritize yourself. You have to prioritize your studying, your own health, as well as your precious time with your friends, your family. I think that the 4 years jump really quick, like in a blink of eyes. More technical skill set you can learn from CUHK through lessons. Don't skip lots of classes because I think that accounting is, even I have not taken any accounting programs in my university life, but actually when I was taking the QP program, it's actually more like it's like a continuous learning. So I think that you have to be punctual to classes, grasp most of them, and then work hard to have a decent GPA. The second thing is, I think that you can share knowledge as well as some interns experience with your colleagues, and then because course mates. Your course mates are actually your best buddy in job seeking. When you do aptitude tests for like an exam, when you have friends that actually have one more brain to think with you. It's not that it's not integrity for that, but that you can ask for sources for that. It's not illegal at all. So I think that have one more brain with you is always your partner and always go networking. If there's some gala dinner in your college, go for it. Know more people. You never know who people will bring you to a new opportunity, and you never know what comes next and embarks you in your journey.
Yeah, so I explained to them that fellowship very important. So basically here, 100 on you. If you can connect it really well, and then you will help each other. I told you, okay, who are you competing with? Not only the one sitting next to you, right? I said there are other universities, and there are overseas university, U of T, non-business student even, right? So basically you're competing with everyone, and therefore you will have to establish meaningful connections amongst you, like Stephanie said. If one of you came across a written test or aptitude test, then you tell the others, helping each other, then you become stronger together. Okay? Another question, what is the biggest challenge you face while working in Big Four?
So I don't think that meeting tight deadlines are actually really a tough thing for me because I prioritize my tasks. Even I do in charges for some private companies or some small funds, as well as I have been middle level for like being a large and huge anonymous engagement. I have to review working papers for the associate, take care of the associate, as well as I will do my own working paper as a senior by investor working papers. So I think the most tough thing is probably how to do project management well. Project management means that you have to manage the expectations well. If you cannot get onto the right timeline as well, and you did not manage your managers as well as your senior managers or even partners' expectations, actually it will lead to a big failure, and I've heard people being cancelled out in Big Four because of it. So I think that cancel out means they will ask you to leave Big Four, and you will be compensated. Yeah. So
okay, you're fired.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
Yeah, in a nice way you are fired. I've heard people about it. So how to survive in there? I would say project management skills is a very crucial way. Yeah, and how to manage expectations? Give a heads up if you cannot meet. Heads up to your manager or your senior if you cannot complete your task. If you need a few more times, 1 or 2 more days, you fix a really solid deadline and tell your manager about it and negotiate about it. And tell him earlier. Plan ahead of your day and how do you manage all your skills and how do you manage all your tasks. Yeah.
Thank you. And another perspective or difficulty or challenge would be analytical skill. And this student would like to understand how did you polish and learn the necessary analytical skill? And a follow-up question is, would case competition help?
So for my own perspective, because I do not come from a business school, actually I do not participate in any case competitions. But I would say for some of my friends, as they come from business background, they did join in case competition. And I think that through a case study, you will know how Because there is a case studies for a specialized industry and you have to go through the whole process, for example, the structuring, a leverage buyout of the company. So you have to plan ahead and then have an overview of it. So through case study, you know the overview of a business structure as well as the whole deal processing. You have the basic knowledge of it. But I think that how do I gain my analytical skills is actually sometimes especially before I do some interviews, actually I will read some audited financial statements. Actually within there, you know the material accounting policies and you know the basic technical knowledge about it. And afterwards, how do you do analytical is that they will write up some summary, some key audit matters. You know through a financial statements, you actually learn a lot and you know how to write analytical reviews. Also, AI is your very best friend in working. Even if you have write a very short sentence and you really want to elaborate, throw it into AI, they will help you actually. Yeah.
Well, you're actually taking a look at the next question, because the next question is actually from Marco, okay? Asking what specific skill would you recommend students to acquire in this AI era?
So I think that using AI is very powerful to your work life as well as maybe your university life. It will help you to catch some grammatical mistakes. So during the AI era, I would say that you have to learn how to use AI. It's not you throw a passage into it and then you ask it, please help me to rephrase. Instead, you have to ask precise questions. Not to say that you have to pay for the AI tools, but that using POE or like ChatGPT via the way that please help me paraphrase the passage in what way I want it to be more in more ways. For example, it's a more casual way. When you're drafting email, you don't want to spend 15 minutes on drafting. You just throw the background to AI and then they will help you to draft. You have a more convincing tone. You have a more decent way to present yourself.
Yeah, so basically AI will be helpful for you, but you will have to help AI or instruct AI to help you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I finished all questions you sent.
Questions?
Yes?
Okay. Most of students asking me is, when should I start my internship? Only in year 3 or year 2, summer or later?
I would say from some of my business friends, actually they can, which have landed into a very successful career in HSBC MT program. How they plan their career path is that they first have worked in government department, they have worked in government department, they have worked in Big Four, they have worked in banking. So actually they start off with Big Four, usually in tax service or like audit service for year 2 summer. And then they gradually process to government internships. For example, in the hospital authority. And then for the 4th year, they will work in some banking, which is from there you will be more easy to know more people, and then you have enough technical skills to actually work in the internship, and you can win people heart through the internships. People will remember you actually. Your reputation is very important in this field. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the answer is you have to plan according to your own objective, and many of the very successful young talents, they actually started very, very early. They have a very diverse experience, like with the government, with Big Four, with banks, etc. But we are not asking all of you to do the same thing. Okay, according to your own objective, career plan, but I would say never too early, never too late. It's basically whenever you have opportunity, you can take the opportunity, and you don't have to wait for like year 2. And for example, I would suggest everyone from now on. I said that your career start today, right? So your career start today, and you may already start looking for what are Big Four. Other than Big Four, there are actually many CPA firms. Who are they? What would be their requirement? Do you have any senior working there, etc.? Get connect with them, understand what they're doing. Is it fun? Is it not fun, etc. So it's like anytime you got an opportunity, but the foundation is what Stephanie has been mentioning. Okay, you will have to keep your GPA. Okay, but doesn't mean that you have to be full mark, right? You don't have to be 3.9, but you cannot be 2.5. You understand what I mean? Okay. Any other question? Any other last question? Okay. If not, so can I invite everyone to give a big hand?